Okay, we're back in Text Wrangler, and we're going to talk about linking. So we're going to talk about linking to other websites, linking to pages within our own site, and linking out to email people. So let's start with linking out to another website. So I'm going to create a new paragraph. This paragraph contains a link to the Utah State University website. Okay, and I'm going to turn the text that says Utah State University website into a link to Utah State University's website. So I'm going to start by creating an anchor tag. The anchor tag is really the workhorse of linking in HTML, and it's just a simple A. But the anchor tag isn't much good without attributes, and attributes in HTML are really what defines the behavior of the tag. And so in the anchor tag's case, the big attribute that really controls where the link points to is usually the href attribute, or the hypertext reference. So I'll put in href, and then I'll just type in the address that we're linking to. http://usu.edu. And there we go. We've got ourselves a basic link. I've got the opening anchor tag right before the text that I'm going to turn into the link, and then the closing anchor tag right after that text with the href attribute telling the browser where the link is pointing to. So let's just go and save this, and then we'll switch over to the browser view. So I'll double click on our HTML page. This will just open it straight from our computer onto the web browser. And there's our link, so I'll click on that, and it just redirects me to the USU homepage. Now you'll notice that I left the page that I was just on, so if I want to get back to that, I have to go back. Okay, so let's assume that you want this to open up in a new window so that you don't lose your users when they click on the link. That is something that we often want to avoid. So I'm going to go ahead and put another attribute, which is a target attribute. Target, and this tells the browser where to open the page that's being linked to. So we'll usually name that, name the location where it's going to open. The most common is blank, so you just tell it, open up a blank page, and then it's really up to the browser and the user's settings on the browser to determine whether that new page opens up in a new tab or in a whole new window. I meant to say window when I said a new page. A new window. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Save. Okay. And I'm going to now, going to go switch, open up my index page again, and now when I click on the USU website link, it opens up in a new tab. Because on my browser I just have it set to open new windows in new tabs, and so that's great. That's what we wanted it to do. Okay, now a note on this: you got to be careful how you name your links, what text you use within your links. I mean, because let's say a screen reader is coming through, it does provide somebody the ability to click through or to tab through all of the links that are on the page, and it'll just read the link location and then the text that is being linked to, or the text that is being turned into a link. So a descriptive text here in between the anchor tags, something like Utah State University, is useful because it tells whoever's coming through exactly what that's linking to. But if we were to use something like click here, it'd be a lot less descriptive. And then we might want to use something like the title attribute or something like that that tells a little bit more information about what this is a link to. So, okay, let's add another link. Let's put in a link to a page that's already on our site. So, if you would like to know more about us, please visit our About Us page. So we don't have an About Us page yet. Let's create one and then we'll link to it. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna create a new page. There we go, a new text document. I'll do a save as, and I will save this in my site root as about-us. So you'll notice that I'm not using spaces and I'm using all lowercase letters. So I'll save that. And I'll just put something here so we'll know when we get there. About us. And I'll save this page. Okay, now I'll switch back to our index page and I'm going to link to our About Us page. So I'll go open up my anchor tag, put in my hypertext reference, and I'm just going to type in the name of the file, aboutus.html. And I'll go over here and I'll do a closing anchor tag. Now in this case I'm not going to worry about targeting a new window because I don't mind if they go to the About Us page and leave the page they were just on. They're still on our site. Okay, so, but some things to point out here is that this is a relative link. So in HTML there's relative links and then there's absolute links. So in the top we have an absolute link because we're going to the entire address of the website, http://usu.edu. On the second example, we have a relative link because we're linking to a page relative to its location to the page that we're currently on. Now, we can't do a relative link to the USU website because the USU website is outside of our root folder. It's external to our site. And so we have to do an absolute link so that the browser knows where it's going. But we do have a page called About Us that's in the same root folder as the page that we're looking at. So the browser knows that that it can just look in that same root folder and it can find aboutus.html. Now, we could do an absolute link to this page if we had this site hosted and we wanted to link directly to it. So let's say we had this site hosted on a domain called myfirstpage.com. We could do an absolute link to http://myfirstpage.com/aboutus.html, and then if we saved that and we clicked the link, it would still take us to the About Us page, but that's really more code than we need when that page is just sitting in the same root folder and we can link to it relatively. So let's go ahead and save this page. And let's switch over to open up our file, open up our index file. And let's click on the About Us page link. So we click on that and it switches us over to the About Us page. So there we go. There's a little bit more to relative linking than that. So for example, if the About Us page were in another folder, we could we need to do things like specify the folder that it was in if we had it in a folder called About Us, or if we needed to go backwards a folder, we could step back and find it in a parent folder. Those tricks you'll pick up a little bit later, but for now I just want you to note the difference between absolute linking and relative linking. Absolute linking being just a link to the site as if it's not related in any way to the page that we're on, and a relative link telling the browser how to find the page relative to the page that we're looking at. Okay, lastly, let's look at how to do a mail to link. If you have questions, please feel free to contact us at, let's just call this webmaster at myfirstsite.com. We'll just make this up. There might be such a thing as an email address like that. Please don't use it if there is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a link to this page. Anchor tag, href. We'll put in the reference in a moment. We'll just close our anchor tag and then come over here, and for our hypertext reference we'll put a mail to webmaster@myfirstsite.com. Okay, there we go. So I'll go ahead and save that. Let's go back again and just refresh this page. There's our new link. Click on that, and it's going to fire up our email, and here it is. Here's an email getting ready to fire off to webmaster@myfirstsite.com. All that with just a little HTML, and that's a quick introduction to linking. Now you can also do linking on images, so as we learn more about images later on, you can wrap an anchor tag around an image, you can wrap an anchor tag around a div, you can wrap an anchor tag around a lot of different things. So we'll be definitely coming back to anchor tags more later.